Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Savanna Stadium Safaris. We're going to head out this afternoon, back up to the Sand River. We had such a good episode yesterday that we thought we'd come and spend a bit more time up here. The chance of potentially getting those lions again. We had Shavinzi up on the river, as well as that beautiful big herd of elephants. So we're going to head up there again and see if we can try and find a whole lot of those different animals for you, and we'll see how we go. Well, folks, we managed to get Nyelethi. He's just come out of one of the lodges along the river. It's a very common route for him to take, and he spends a lot of time here scent marking, and that hopefully he's going to go up onto these big rocks for us, and we'll continue to follow him. So as Nyelethi moved through this thick of vegetation, he spotted some nyalas right on the water course there, and he's probably a bit too far away to try and get too close to them there. But we'll just watch him for a little bit and see what he does. So unfortunately, those nyala seem to have picked up on the scent of a Nyelethi, and potentially the wind was blowing the wrong direction. So he started to move off a little bit further and continue along the river. So Nyelethi is busy moving through this very thick vegetation along the Sand River. Perfect prime hunting conditions for him. It looks like he's quite hungry, and he's been active from quite early on today. Throughout the middle of the day he's been walking along the river, and so yeah, we'll stick with him a little bit long. Maybe we'll bump into some bushbuck or something else along the way. So if you watch his behavior, you'll see he's been walking constantly, moving back and forth with his head right down to the ground, smelling. Because we've been seeing him hunting those nyala and so forth, there's a chance that he was smelling for prey species. Maybe picked up the scent of a bushbuck and was moving through the area. But now that he's started to do that phlegm and grimace, the raising of the palate and using the Jacobson's organ, pretty sure he's then smelling a different leopard. Very common place for Corcovella to be, and so potentially picking up on scent of one of the females, or could be another rival male. Well, in fact, when leaving Nyelethi there, moving along the riverbed, leaving to his afternoon hunt, it gets very thick along the river there. Yeah, another great way to start the episode in the afternoon. Come back up to the Sand River, and it's already producing. So let's see what else we can find along the river. Beautiful pair of Egyptian geese there. Quite a common bird along the Sand River. For those of you who have been here, I'm sure you would have seen them flying over, making a very loud call as we've been driving along the river. So a beautiful pair of giant kingfishers have just flown over us. These giant kingfishers are monogamous, which means they mate for life. They dig big nests into the side of these steep riverbanks. They dig a tunnel down into the bank, and that's where they nest. They feed almost exclusively on fish, very so often frogs and other crabs and invertebrates that you get in the river. But we'll dive down from a height, catch the fish, and then bring them up to a roost and then eat them. So while we're up in the north here, folks, we thought we'd come up and have a look at that new hyena den that Greg found on Monday. As we've driven in, there's two female hyenas that were sitting right on the edge of the den here, and then very luckily just got a short little glimpse of one of the cubs. Looks to be somewhere between 2 and 3 months old. This den hasn't been viewed at all, so they'll still be very nervous around coming out of their mound for the cars. So we'll hang tight and see if we get another view of them, but good to know that there are some youngsters in there. Alright folks, we've been sitting here with these hyenas for a little bit now, and it's going to take a few weeks for them to get used to vehicles viewing them. We're going to leave them for now. It's nice to get a quick little glimpse of that youngster, but we're not sure they're going to come out for us until maybe dark, and we don't view these hyenas yet at dark. They're still a bit too young. So we're going to carry on and see what else we can find. So folks, while you're up along the river, these nyalas are quite a common resident up along the Sand River and its main tributaries. Not quite as common down on the open grasslands around Savanna, close to the camp. So always a pleasure to come up and have a look at them here. This is a young Savanna male here. You'll just see just getting his horns as well as that dark ridge along his back. Unfortunately no bull with this herd in particular, but we will see if we bump into one throughout the rest of the afternoon, and we can show you the comparison. The bulls are much darker in colour. And are not quite as brown, they're more of a black in color. These nyalas are browsers. They feed exclusively on leaves. You'll see this one is busy eating the leaves of the tamboiti tree, which is actually a poisonous tree in this area. Once they've fallen down and dried off though, it should be pretty edible to these nyala, but a few different species do feed on them while they're still on the tree, and they've still got that white milky latex coming out of them. Right folks, while we were up along the river having a look what we could find up there, our tracking team of Ali and Edward have been down here looking for the male cheetah, and luckily they've managed to find him. So we've come back down towards the open grassland of Savanna, and we're going to spend a bit of time with the cheetah just before it gets dark. It's going to get dark pretty quickly, so we'll only spend about 10 minutes with him or so, and then we'll probably leave him into the night. So this scent post that he's busy using at the moment is quite a common stop off for this cheetah. It's our resident male in the south. He always comes through this area, and these big dead trees are a great place for him to scent mark and tell all the other cheetahs in the area that this is his territory, telling the females as well as any of the young males. Alrighty folks, lovely to just get a quick sighting there of our resident male cheetah down here. We've had some fantastic cheetah viewing over the past week or so. I think we've seen 5 different cheetah now in the last week, which is always very, very special, a very rare animal to get to spend some time with. As we've mentioned in many of our other videos, and for guests that have been here, you'll know that we don't view the cheetah at night time. They're a diurnal predator, so we're going to leave him walking down the road there into the sunset, and we'll leave him to his evening, and hopefully the guys will be able to catch up with him tomorrow morning. Alright folks, I think that's where we're going to leave the afternoon. Thanks for joining us for another episode. Lovely to see Nyelethi up along the river and spend some time up there, and then fantastic that our tracking team got our beautiful male cheetah down in the south to finish it all off there. So I hope you enjoyed your time with us, and we'll hopefully see you all tomorrow.